Welcome back, everybody. This is A Song of Dan and Josh,
It is.
the show where myself and Josh Hill of fansided.com
Hello.
read through each and every chapter of A Song of Ice and Fire, George R. R. Martin's unfinished masterpiece, and break them down. It makes them work, what makes them succeed, it makes them special, it makes them, on occasion, not work if we think that's the case.
Yeah.
And by the way, to, let's see, somebody asked, Kathleen, the address for Cheryl's site is culturess.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's culturess.com.
.com.
Yes.
There you go.
I said .com.
I know, but you spell out the first thing, spell out the last thing too.
It's true. .com.
Consistency.
Period. All right. Okay, so we're here to talk about Daenerys 1, the first
Yeah.
Daenerys chapter from A Clash of Kings.
Daeyne something, I don't know.
Daen. Oh my God, I can't. Yeah, I've already here. Thank God.
You got it written on the
Erys.
paper, Yes, Daenerys 1, which was very Moses-y. It was
Oh, how
very
so? Hit
biblical. It was very, she's leading her disciples or the last of her people through essentially the desert.
Yeah.
She's got this very prophetic thing going on.
It really was. It was extremely like that. I mean, the whole conceit is that. Okay, so what I liked about it is, so this chapter basically, there's a whole lot that happens. Daenerys, it's the first chapter in Clash of Kings,
Yep.
which she doesn't really have a lot of chapters in this book, by the way.
No?
It's kind of an off book for Daenerys, just like a down book, which is fine.
All right.
She's leading her Dothraki followers, which aren't that many, somewhere. And what I like about it is it's a nice mix of mythic. We forgot the GOT Oreos.
Oh my God, Dan.
If you want to give us any, Cheryl, love it.
I'm leaving. I came for the Oreos.
No, we're gonna get them. I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding us, Diane. Game of Thrones Oreos available now wherever Oreos are sold. Okay, can I open this? You wouldn't mind? Ugh.
Ooh! I have a Stark Oreo.
And I have a Night King Oreo. That's pretty cool.
It's very cool. I don't
What?
know what this is.
Oh, you want an Oreo?
Oh, Richard needs an Oreo.
Here you go, Richard.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I don't even know what this is. I have an Oreo. Mine says Oreo. House
Well,
Oreo.
turn around.
Oh, there's something on the back. There you go.
That's Targaryen. Dragon.
Targaryen. I knew that. I was just testing you.
Okay, Targaryens.
Targaryens. Well, how fitting
So-
that we're talking about a Targaryen,
And
too.
you just ate one. What I liked about the chapter is that it mixes this kind of mythic bits.
Yeah.
Yes, that she's following a comet.
Which she also interprets as being her, just like Theon
Yes.
did.
Daenerys Targaryen had seen the comet first on the night she had burned Khal Drogo. The night her dragons had awakened. The gods have sent it to show me the way. Again, very mythic.
Yep.
Very epic. I think she has more of a claim to that than Theon does, who just kind of looks at it and assumes, like, I'm
bit.
great, that's my comet. Like, she did birth dragons when she saw it. That's a good connection. Fire.
Yeah.
You know, they're fire, it's fire, yada, yada, yada. So it has that, but it also mixes it with this very kind of practical aspect where she's following the comet and they're winding through the desert. It's very Moses-like,
Yeah.
but also she says, she thinks rather, okay, so I can't go to the Dothraki Sea because the Dothraki Khals will find me and they will kill me and take the dragons. I can't go south because the Lamb people will kill me and take the dragons. Like, yes, it's mythic and epic, but also she has to go into this horrible desert because everywhere else there are people, and
kill her.
she's basically defenseless. She has like 3 tiny baby dragons and some old men and like women and children in her Dothraki horde. Like, this is the only way she can go, which I like. I like that Game of Thrones is all about, A Song of Ice and Fire is all about taking kind of the mythic fantasy tropes of A Lord of the Rings, and they're still there, but you mix in the kind of real-world politics side.
Yeah.
And this is that. Yes, it's a Moses trip to the desert, but it's also, listen, we got to go to the desert because there's no other option.
Yeah, it's necessary. She has to. Which, I don't know, that was... The Moses-y angle to it was a little on the nose. I guess it's maybe because I know where the story goes, so she does have this very, like, religious arc.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. So, I don't know if that's what Martin was going for. But I do like that he kind of I mean, I know that's what he was going for, but I like how he kind of weaved it in there where it's like, oh yeah, there's practicality in why she's doing this.
And there's another bit where they wander for a while and they reach a city. This bit is cut from the show. I don't know if you remember what happens in this bit. I forget what they call it. They call it I didn't review this. I was too busy. Oh, Veas Teloro, like a dead city, like this empty city, which was a thing in the ancient world, by the way.
Yeah.
Just like if you go through, the Mediterranean, they are just like empty cities and ruins left over from like literally 4,000 years ago. It's kind of lying around. So it's true. They're still there out there. Like Indiana Jones goes and finds them.
I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting the archaeology here. So I live in facts, Dan.
So she and her followers find this. Dan will eat them all, says Amy. I will if I could. I probably won't have time. So they find this dead city, and they're kind of looking around it. They're like, okay, we wanted this forever. We find this place. We can actually settle for a minute.
Yeah.
Some of her followers are like, but there are ghosts here. And she has another good line where she says, I fear no ghosts. Dragons are more powerful than ghosts. But then she thinks, and the figs are more important. Like, there's food here, people. Like, I know, I'm sorry you were afraid of ghosts, but we need to eat something or we're all going to die. But it's because she's projecting, Daenerys is projecting this, I don't fear ghosts, dragons are stronger, like this mythical kind of a mother leader persona. But she's thinking like, she's thinking practically, but living her life kind of as a cult leader type person.
Yeah, and that's kind of what comes to define Daenerys as she continues this arc. She is this cult leader. She is this person that literally frees people and is like, you're fighting for me because I am literally your savior. I have come and I have saved you. So, yeah, it's interesting, and I guess I didn't know that she didn't have that many chapters in this book. So
I think there's like 6.
It's good. It's necessary development to getting her to where she is, because she's at this point right now. I don't think she ever becomes an unlikable character, but there's definitely, she bumps up against the edge of, all right, you've become something different than you were before. And this is the start of that, where she is seeing herself, while she's thinking practically, she's living very mythologically, and that's, goes to your head at some point.
I mean, because that's kind of what you do as a leader.
Yeah.
Like, it's about your image, about what you project. I mean, that's leaders we have in the real world. Like, FDR wasn't always a soft-spoken, wheelchair-bound kind of person who becalmed the nation in a hard time. He enjoyed gossip. He was a bit of a lech. Oh, he loved it. He liked
I know.
In the family.
Big FDR fan.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. He was big into the gossip.
He loved the gossip. Not all of them did that. So yeah, there's this divide between who a leader you see them as and who they are in private, and they're not always the same. And it's reflected here with Daenerys and Jon Snow. Well, Jon Snow is more of a straightforward kind of a George W. Bush type figure, where he's just like,
you just compare Jon Snow to George W. Bush.
What you see is what you get. No, because Bush is putting that on. Jon doesn't really put it on.
I know, it's just the comparison's hilarious, because it's like I don't ever think of those two characters.
It's where my mind went immediately. If you have a better comparison, I'd like to hear it. Okay. So the first part of the chapter is, by the way, incredibly miserable, where they just wander through the desert. Around them, the land grew more desolate. Dorea took a fever and grew worse with every league they crossed. Her lips and hands broke with blood blisters. Her hair came out in clumps. And one even fall, she lacked the strength to mount her horse. And then Dany just kind of stays with that person until she dies. Good leader, that Dany.
Yeah.
Compassion. We also get our first look at the baby dragons.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to read the description, then we're going to look at them on the show and see how they compared. The Baby Dragons, as written by George R. R. Martin in Clash of Kings.
There you go.
This is a feast. The dragons were no larger than the scrawny cats she had once seen skulking along the walls of Magister Illyrio's estate in Pentos, until they unfolded their wings. Their span was 3 times their length, each wing a delicate fan of translucent skin, gorgeously colored, stretched taut between long, thin bones. When you looked hard, you could see that most of their body was neck, tail, and wing. Think we have an image? Whatever.
Oops.
Anyway,
use your imagination.
What impression do the dragons give you here?
A good one?
No, okay.
No.
Bad question.
No, I mean, she's the mother of dragons. Like, she has to, there's this connection. The important thing to me out of that was there's this connection between her and the dragons that is deeper than what you would initially think it is, because you think she just has these as pets, the comparison to the cats, but these are part of her. These are her children. Like, they're not pets. They are not just something that she has around to come home to and pet. Like, they're an extension of her. Like she is the dragons. So I think that was important in highlighting that. And I was also distracted by you eating your Oreo.
This is a distracting episode. I got a prop. I got Oreos. I'm having a good time.
It's good. We have fun here.
A lot of fun here. But it's also cool that they're so weak. I mean, like, it's such a huge momentous event, but really they can't do anything.
No, but that's I read that as a metaphor for Daenerys. It's like we meet her and she's this meek character who can't really do much, and then she blossoms and grows into one of the strongest front runners to win the Iron Throne, or however you want to put it. But she is one of the most powerful characters in the book and on the show. But she didn't start that way, so she grew in it, and that's kind of the same thing with the dragons, where they're not powerful right now. But you think of dragons, you think of these fire-breathing monsters, and they're just these cute little things.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like that they kind of grow with her. The more powerful they get, the more powerful she gets. And that's true. Like, she's never been more powerful now on the show with her armies and her boats and her Hand of the King and Tyrion, and the dragons are freaking powerful too. She did lose one though. At this point, she's incredibly weak as well.
Yep.
Like I said, no followers. I mean, her followers are they can't really do anything. They're older. They're kids.
Yeah.
And she'll have to work her way up, which is why this book is kind of a slow book for her. Do you remember this part in the show much, by the way?
Not
It's where she goes to
really.
Karth.
A little bit, but not really. Like I can picture the scenery, but I don't even think I'm picturing it right.
It's the one where her dragons are stolen. She has the memeable, like, "Where are my dragons?" bit, which has made the meme rounds over the years. It's definitely and they punch that up for the show, by the way. It's much less eventful.
I was going to say, it was very subtle in the book.
I mean, we haven't been there yet in the book to Karth, but we're getting there. Jorah Mormont.
I was going to say, we've talked about it here. I was like, I didn't notice that when we were reading the books.
I mean, at the very end, 3 people. So she sends her blood riders out to find people, and one of them finds Karth, and she brings back 3 people from the city. And then in the next chapter, we'll be there and we'll check it out. What's that?
Spoilers, man. Come on.
It's a really old book, and the show,
which we've established, the entire point of this segment is I've never read the books.
You've seen the show though. Same thing.
Okay.
She's going to Karth. A little different, but it still works. The same thing. Okay. Anyway, Jorah Mormont.
Yes.
So she has a long conversation with him. Mm-hmm. She basically asks, like, "I'm not doing anything for the next 20 minutes. Tell me your life story." And
exposition.
Did it feel like that? Because he gives this long account of basically his marriage to his second wife, and saying that, she was very beautiful. She was a lot richer than me. I saw her when I won a tournament. I asked for her hand. Her father said yes for some stupid reason. I brought her back to Bear Island, which compared to where she was used to living is like bringing you from a penthouse apartment in Paris to a trailer in
Alabama
the backwoods of, what's that?
Like Louisiana or like Alabama or
Yeah,
somewhere.
or like the bad Carolina. I won't say which one. You decide that.
Nice.
And she was upset, and so we had to do more and more things to kind of please her, which eventually ended in selling slaves, which is illegal, and that's why he got exiled in the first place. It's a long bit. What do you think of Jorah pouring his heart out to Daenerys?
I thought that it was him falling in love with Daenerys. You don't just open up your heart like that. Which one did you get?
I got a Lannister lion. I'm
so
very
proud
happy
of
about that. I really am.
I love the joy. It's great. Does it
I've only gotten Night
like
King so far.
Does it taste like a Lannister lion?
Oh, there's a bit of broken glass in here.
Oh,
I'm suing.
There you go. No, but with Jorah, it's like you don't just pour your heart out like that. So he's clearly has some emotional connection to Daenerys, this loyalty that extends far beyond the point we're at right now. But to me, that was more him investing and him opening up. And I couldn't tell if it was out of desperation because he knows he can't go back. He knows this is his life now. Or if it was because he's genuinely opening up because he has these feelings of affection for Daenerys and this feeling of trust where he can open up and expose himself. He's supposed to be this strong soldier, this male character who's opening up a wound and opening up his, this side of him that you don't normally see. And he's doing that for Dany.
She is. I mean, she did ask, and I think he was like, "You're my queen. Fine, I'll tell you."
Yeah, you could have said no.
No. I mean, it kind of came off as like it did read a little bit forced to me that like no one talks in these long page-long paragraphs about their life story. But at the end, she asks, "What did your second wife look like?" And he, of course, responds, "Why, she looked a bit like you, Daenerys," and then he leaves the tent or whatever they are.
Wow.
And, there's a lot we can take right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has this unrequited love for her.
A little bit.
And it started up. And there's a bit where she tries to think of it. There's a nice little passage where she's like, she tried to think of being with Jorah, but it wasn't working.
Poor Jorah.
in her head.
Poor Jorah. It's over before it even starts.
Oh, totally.
He walked out of that and he's like, oh, yeah. I've planted the seeds and I will let them grow.
She's like,
Daenerys is like, God.
She says his face kept morphing into Khal Drogo's. So, she's still carrying that torch. And but she does say, see, he can never have me, but one day I can give him back his home and honor. That much I can do for him. I mean, you mentioned about
it's like such
why you
because he
laughing?
wants much more than that, and she's like wants to fall in love with her and has this like whole grand vision of
I think he is in love
their
with her.
children and everything like that. And she's like, I can send you home. That'll be good.
Well, you just mentioned that, you're not sure if he was talking to her because he doesn't think he can ever get home again.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a big thing. He's been. How would you feel if you were told you could never go home to your family again and you had to go live the rest of your life in Puerto Vallarta? I mean, it could be rough. So going home is a big thing. That's important.
Yeah.
So, and she. Well, you mentioned just he can't go home again. She can take him home. Like, if she's going to invade and be the queen, you broke a law? Guess what? I'm the queen. You didn't break no law. I pardon you.
Yeah.
That's his ticket back and his ticket to love.
It is, but I think he envisions a different ending to that where he's by Daenerys' side,
Right.
where it's like in reality, it's the end of a
king,
road trip.
maybe?
It's the end of planes, trains, and automobiles where they got to go their separate ways at the end.
Bye.
I don't know who's John Candy in that scenario. I'll leave that up to interpretation.
Okay. And finally, some vocab from this pretty uneventful, but again, evocatively written chapter.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to say this one. It was a sere and desolate land of low hills and barren wind-swept plains. Sere means dry or withered. Sere? I don't know. And the dragons have to always have Dany in their sight. It's the only way of keeping them quiescent. You know what quiescent means?
Quiescent. Tell me, Dan. Educate me.
It means in a state or period of inactivity or dormancy. So keep them calm. Otherwise, they freak out and they squawk or whatever.
I'm habitually quiescent.
Yeah, you're a pretty quiescent guy.
Very quiescent.
Yeah, you're pretty easygoing. And finally, in Vegas Teloro, Dany sees an empty marble plinth. Which is you know what that is?
I don't. I just like saying it.
It's a fun word, yeah.
Plinth.
I can say that one. It's a base that supports a statue or vase. So basically, it's kind of that fun environmental storytelling thing. She mentions that, okay, so it's a dead city. I'm finding an empty thing where a statue should be. Someone took this.
A plinth. It's a lot less exciting than it is to say. A plinth.
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 Plinth. It is TH.
Plinth. Ooh, I didn't say it right.
Okay, this is an interesting
I had
episode.
a TH at the end. I was throwing an F in there for some reason.
Yeah.
Plinth. Plinth. I don't know.
You're not being so quiescent now, are you?
I'm not. But George R. R. Martin can make up words, so can I.
These aren't made up. These are real words.
Most of them are made up.
I'm not quoting you fake words. Okay, seared, scorched.
Scorched?
Yes, although it's spelled S-E-R-E-D.
Seared.
This is a weird episode of Song of Dan and Josh, I
Surd.
thought. We were pretty loose in this one.
Surd.
Surd. Any other thoughts, Josh?
No, very quiescent about this chapter.
Thanks
And we
for
got
watching,
Oreos,
everybody.
too. So, Oreos, there's no
We did
booze
have
this
Oreos.
time, but we got
And
Oreos.
next week, we are going to take a break from A Song of Dan and Josh.
Is there something going on with
Unless
Game of
there's
Thrones next
because you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be covering the final season of Veep on HBO.
There we
Just
go.
gonna hit it hard.
I thought we were doing season 2 of Barry.
I thought about that too, but I want to say the final season of to lead up to it. And
there
I
we
thought
go.
about this joke. Game of Thrones coming back on. We're going to cover that. We're going to take a break from Song of Dan and Josh for the next 6 weeks. We'll be back after that with the rest of Clash of Kings. Hope you guys stick with us. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
And Julie Davies has a few plinths.
Plinths.
And Diane wants to know where we got our Oreos. I believe they were sent to us so we could review them, which I'm going to do right
You can
now.
buy them anywhere, can't you?
But yeah, I mean, they're available at Oreo stores.
There you go.
Your
Eat
local
it, Dan.
Target.
There you go.
Oh my
Get it in
God.
there. Get in there.
Oh, God. All right. Cut it. Well, look at
This is great.
this is the best episode we've ever done.
Oh, I can't believe we have to take a break from this. What a way to go out.
Night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next Wednesday reviewing Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 1.
There we go. See ya.